There were some wise guys where I grew up. Do you remember Luigi's Italian restaurant on North Avenue? You remember? You remember the sign, 100 yards of spaghetti? The owner was a man named Al. He looked like Al Pacino. He wore silk suits. His wife, pretty woman named Connie. So one day, I'm reading the Chicago Sun-Times. It says, man found in a trunk in the Chicago River. Al. He was a bad boy. Another time, when I was driving a cab, I was parked at a cab stand on Broadway right off of Lawrence. It was in the winter. And I had the window rolled up, and I see three guys walking toward me. It looked like Luca Brasi, Clemenza, and the other one. So they walked toward me right out of The Godfather, and one of them puts his nose right up in the window, and he goes like this. So I rolled down the window. He said, yo, who are you who's going to vote for tomorrow for the president of the Cab Drivers Union? I said, sir, whoever you want me to. So he goes like this, you're a good boy. He says, you vote for Joey Dunko. So I voted for him twice. My father, I remember I was a little boy, and my father took me for a ride to River Forest. And he said, Boychik, you come with me. He said, I got to give an estimate on a paint job. So I'm sitting in the car, he was gone a long time, he comes back, he looked for Blungent. And I said, what's the matter? He said, I went to it was a mansion. He said, I knocked on the door, they opened up the door, and three guys put guns to my head. And then all of a sudden a big man came out of another room and he said, what's going on? And these three guys said, this man's a G-man. And the big guy said, he's not a G-man, he's the painter. So my father told that story for the rest of his life. The guys I grew up with, these are the jobs that their fathers had. Junkmen, scrap iron metal dealers, we call them junkmen. They'd get in their truck and they'd pick up scrap iron. Cab drivers, house painters, they were middle class, lower middle class economically, culturally, lower class. They didn't know what tennis was, they didn't know what they didn't know what ping pong from a tennis game, they never took vacations, they didn't know from opera. Just, you know, hardworking people, but great parents. Every one of my friends' parents were world class. No touchy-feely, they just loved their kids, they would take a bullet for their kids. When I went to Roosevelt University and I had two jobs, I lived with another cab driver on Kenmore, right off of Broadway. I paid $55 a month rent. The bed came out of the wall. There was no kitchen. We had a hot plate. There were cockroaches. So we lived like rats. But we did it. My friends could not make change for $1. If I would walk up to one of my friends, by the way, every one of them now is a multimillionaire. If I'd walk up to one of my friends, I'd say, hey, Al, you got change for $1? He'd say, I don't carry that kind of cash. So that's the kind of stuff I write about in my book. And I'll be happy to sign them for you. The book is $10. I'll be happy to entertain any questions anybody has. Yes, ma'am.
How'd you get out to Los Angeles? What took you out there?
Thank you for asking that. When I came home from Korea, my dad's business went south. He wasn't making any money. And he said to me, Boychik, he said, we're going to move. He said, I have family who live in Los Angeles. They're going to help me open a paint store. I said, Dad, I don't want to go. I said, my friends are here. I don't know anything about Los Angeles. So my dad and my mother and my sister went to Los Angeles, and that's when I stayed behind living like a rat in this apartment. After about a year, I was now a senior at Roosevelt University, and my father called me up and he said, listen, one of your cousins is having a wedding out here in Los Angeles, come and visit. So it happened to be spring vacation. So I came out with two of my buddies, we drove a car, there was a deal where you could deliver a new Cadillac, and that's what we did. We came out here, it was January '62, it was one of the worst snowstorms ever in Chicago. And I came out to Los Angeles, and I saw palm trees, so that was it.
Did you ever use your GI Bill rights to go?
Yes, I used the GI Bill to go to law school. I got $110 a month. It helped. In those days, you know, in those days, the tuition in law school, I think was, it wasn't very much, so that helped a lot. Yes, sir.
You were in the public defender's office. Did you meet your wife through professionally or outside?
No. You know, of course, we're on opposite sides.
Right.
I represent the bad guys, and she puts them away. No, when I met her, she was a student at UCLA. I was teaching there. I never dated a student. After the class was over, long after, she contacted me. She wanted to get in to watch a trial. There was a very infamous trial called the Night Stalker. You might have heard of it out here. Some lunatic who was killing people. And she asked me if she could get in, and she had taken the paralegal course, which is what I taught, to see if she was interested in the law. And so I got her in, and then we got together, and we've now been married 20 years.
The Night Stalker was a presentation on television last night.
Right. Oh, was it really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
they're still working on the case.
Well, he's long gone. I mean, he
I
got,
know, but they have the ability to use DNA evidence now, which they didn't know how to do 20 years ago.
oh, that's true. Well, they got him cold. Trust me on that. They got it. He's the guy.
What's his name? What's his name?
Pardon me?
What was his name?
Richard Ramirez.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Ramirez.
Did you defend him?
One of the guys who worked for me defended him. That's a tough job, you know, but I believe in the... See, when I became a public defender, what happened is I interviewed for the job, and they would have... You'd go before a panel. One interviewer was a district attorney, the other was a public defender, the other was county counsel. By the way, district attorney in Los Angeles is equivalent to your state's attorney. So they interview you, and as soon as I walked in, I told them, I'm only interested in being a public defender. You know, I'm a Jew, I'm for the underdog, I grew up, I couldn't see myself prosecuting. I could do it now. What else can I tell you? The book, people ask me how I wrote the book. I'm an accomplished attorney. I tried over 100 jury trials. But I was not accomplished in writing, and I wrote motions.